the select board,
Yeah,
not us.
it's usually about a month, it's been my experience. Not sure
Okay.
why it takes so long, but
I did actually, where was I? Somewhere the other day. And Dan Dennehy, maybe, I don't remember his name, said, oh, I saw it on TV.
oh, yeah.
And he had been watching this. The recorded meeting.
Mhm.
So he probably watched
Oh,
the
yeah,
select board one.
oh, okay. Maybe you can get back at the recorded meeting rather than the minutes, yeah.
That's an interesting question. Oh, no, 128 minutes. When did we meet with them?
2 weeks before yesterday, I think.
It's the 4th of February. So that one is not posted to 128 is posted. Oh, no, this is us. We met with them on the 28th.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Well, 2 weeks before that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get you out of February.
Well, there's not a lot in the minutes about it. Structural analysis. Repairs to the building. For results from the potential reuse options. Committee's goal is to retain ownership. Hey,
Sorry, I'm late.
All right.
Oh, you're 3 minutes late? How can you do that?
Not my style, but that's all right.
I know Judy.
So you
Probably
made the
not,
meeting last night.
I was thinking,
I
Good.
thought it was
Pretty-
coming.
pretty out of
It's
that.
usually on
Yeah,
time,
that's what
but
Caroline
I don't
said.
know.
good to catch up, but
I'll look this for tonight,
Oh, okay.
so.
the goal is more. And never let anyone say that you didn't keep them informed,
Right.
as opposed to.
There is someone pulling in. Does Rich drive a truck?
He has a truck, yes.
But they didn't discuss, I mean, when the prior meeting, they were hung up on whether to go with the direction of the kitchen or a childcare. What?
Yeah, they're leaving that to us. That's the sense that I got.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's all data driven and none of us wanna make decisions based upon.
No
Let's have a couple drinks and then decide what we wanna do.
I
Although the drinks might. But it was more, show us the data, show us the revenue streams. And they're really gonna focus on the revenue streams. I believe, they're really going to, is this going to cost the town?
Well,
And I think they include CPA money. In that cost to the town, that's my gut. Cause there are people in town who really feel like CPA money is our money, because it is
It
tax.
is our money, but to do what with?
Right, exactly, and that's the rub that sometimes people know.
my understanding from talking with Judy, it's been accumulated, that the sizable sum.
It is, I remember when we passed it in town. And I remember I got criticism for really supporting it. It's the best, it's one of the best things we've done because it's the map. And it's earmarked and you can't say, well, you know what, we're short in this area, so. It's fabulous, so I think if we get the funding streams. Both in terms of creation and then ops. I think they'll be like, okay, they also clarified. And I was a little nervous about this when I first read Judy's comments. In an email. The distinction between our committee and the municipal building committee. And I was like, well, are they gonna just hand this to the municipal building? And
I have an update on that.
Oh,
okay, because they said, no, it's completely separate,
Right.
yeah.
well, yeah, it's not like this building, I mean, the issues are wildly different.
Right. Right, as I recall. The municipal building committee was created. For maintenance. Assessing needs, because at one point. Someone said. To us in the select board, well, you know, you guys are the ones that make the decisions about whether roofs need to be replaced. I know I don't have that skill. I don't have, come close to having that skill.
Yeah.
I don't even know when the bathroom's dirty.
Right, that's a good point, yeah,
So that's why it was created, and that's why it was important to have at that point Keith. On the committee and other people who understood. Structure
Yeah,
and but also have somebody on finance to understand. Capital planning. And all, so. But I'm glad they. Let this go.
yeah, good, good.
Should we officially commence? Have we commenced?
We have.
I mean, we can't make any decisions with just the three of us.
Well, there's 4 of us. Do I not
You
count?
don't count.
Okay.
Um,
So
No,
if-
No offense.
no offense, and again, I don't think staff would count as an appointed. Committee member.
I swore in.
You did?
to this, as the staff,
No, like to all the boards. I'm part of the energy committee. I'm
Oh,
part of.
Oh, if you,
Giving garden?
if you were sworn, of course, I wasn't sworn into this, no.
Oh, okay.
Not that I care.
Well, I
No, no,
mean,
no.
from the agenda that I saw, I don't think we're gonna be making
Yeah,
any
we're not-
decisions.
we're not making
just-
a decision.
Yeah.
alright, well, let's actually start. And
Because in theory, we need 4 for quorum.
How big is the committee? There's
There's 6 of us.
okay,
is that,
1,
Oh,
2,
that-
3,
that-
7.
and what
4,
about the ones that,
5.
Paula, I guess she resigned.
Paula just.
the younger woman who's a mom?
Um,
She was here when I first joined the committee.
so Paula and now I'm blanking on her name.
Paula is what?
Paula and
Becky?
not Becky.
A mom in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe.
Dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she and Paula were liaisons from the housing
Right.
and whatever the other town committee were. And they have now, as of today, both resigned.
Oh, why did Paula resign?
So I just got an email today
Okay,
saying my health hasn't improved and I don't have good internet.
Oh, so she wasn't mad at us.
She didn't say that, she
No.
didn't express concerns, but she also rarely expresses concerns.
yeah,
I'm sure if you received my notification of resigning from the center school committee, health issues have not been resolved and my internet service is not reliable. Good luck
Okay.
to you as you move
that
forward.
Paula you read from.
I'm reading Paula Jenkins.
Uh-huh.
That this morning, she sent it this morning, I wrote her back 10 minutes ago. I had not received a prior message, thank you for resending, also thank you for your help thus far, and I hope your health improves.
So then that leaves us, the 4 of us, Rich and Becky
And Judy,
and Judy. How many is
Yes.
that? That's 7.
Yeah. So we need at least 4.
Right, so we are.
yeah,
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
we're good.
So yes, that's update from Paula. I've added a couple things to the agenda from what I sent you based on emails. But Paula was one of them. Did we have any comments on January minutes? Are they good as I sent them to you?
Right.
Okay. So municipal use building committee, Judy had written to Peter about that and asked for him to discuss it with the select board last night. I don't know if you heard that part of it.
What's this about? But the municipal committee, municipal building.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, and they said as I mentioned, they were two separate. Yeah, functions,
Right,
that we should move ahead as we had been.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but it does raise, we do need to keep in the back of our mind, though, the fact that somebody working with the building needs to still be aware, inspect,
As a landlord would, right?
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know who that is until there's.
And that would be their job, the municipal building committee's job, to figure out how to incorporate it.
Well, isn't, Garrett it must be a member of that.
I'm sure,
It
yeah.
is. And I would think he would be the contact, he's aware of the building, and I'm very impressed with the guy that he understands structural engineering. pretty
I'm
well.
very impressed with him too, and he's been very responsive,
Yeah.
so another item. Kathy McCabe wrote to some of us again about slate being available from the Munson project. And I wrote to Garrett and asked him, I sent him her email and said, what do you think about this? And he said, I talked to Hawkins about it, and he said the problem with used slate is it triples the labor costs to use it, and I'm not quite sure if that's because you're inspecting every piece instead of assuming, or because of the issues like you heard from your friend, that it has some other substance. I don't know what the reason was for that.
I think I missed something.
You did. There was
what's
an
the
email from Kathy McCabe that went to some people, not to the whole committee, saying, I've heard there is slate available. Are you interested? So I followed up with Garrett,
Okay, good.
and his response was that it's more costly to use used materials for the labor of it. Now, not really knowing the cost of the materials themselves, I don't know how close to an offset that is. I was gonna wait to talk to somebody I know who works with slate and ask him about what makes it so much more expensive to use used slate before I do anything else.
If Garrett said that?
Hawkins,
Hans.
who did the roof repair, said it's 3 times more to use, to install used materials.
I wonder if I have no idea, I think he must be including the cost of taking it off the other building and transporting it.
That's an interesting question.
Cause I can't imagine why else it would be, and
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, and I actually asked Garrett for Hawkins' number. I can follow up. But yeah, I wanted to get more sense of the issue.
Yeah. If that's the case, though. My gut question would be, well, if they're going to take the slate off of whatever roof it is currently on. Why is that cost impacting our?
That it
anyway.
shouldn't. So that's a hypothesis. We don't know if
Yeah.
that's accurate.
that was my guess, I have no
Yeah,
idea.
unless they're just gonna smash it up and
Right.
by taking it off piece by piece, it's.
But if we're talking about driving a truck up and loading it on and reinstalling it, that's not 3 times more expensive. Wait,
Plus Garrett said we can use the town trucks and I have this guy who works with Slate and is much less expensive than, he'll do it for an hourly rate, not a roofing price. So
At prevailing wage.
what,
He has to do it at prevailing wage.
well, he'll have no problem doing that.
Registered
Prevailing
law.
wage, cause it's higher than what he usually gets.
Right.
And. If it's below a certain amount, doesn't need an RFP, so it sounds like we need to research this a little farther. Cause you guys are sort of wondering on that answer too. Okay.
well, yeah, if Hawkins was the one who made that 3 times more expensive, just ask him on what basis is it?
Well, I wrote back to Garrett and I said, oh, that's important information. Is that because they have to inspect every piece? Could I possibly have Hawkins' contact information in case we have follow-up questions? And I didn't hear back
Okay,
on that, but I will follow up
yeah,
with that.
And Jenny, your point about the offset is important. If the material is free, who, do we really care if it's 3 times more? If the net,
right,
Right.
exactly. What is the cost of reusing the old tile versus the new tile, or the old slate versus installing new slate? Right?
But I guess I wondered if you should follow up with the guy you know.
I could ask,
Cause basically he told you we
that it
don't
wasn't
wanna use
available.
it cause
Yeah.
it's not clean. And then Kathy, I don't know who Kathy heard from again. I can send you the
Yeah.
original email from,
Yeah, okay.
um,
I would have to reach out to somebody that I was introduced to by Rick. Because, Rick's just the middle guy and he actually
Okay.
retired, from Western Mass EDC, so, but the other guy runs. The organization in West Mass, which is the Industrial Development Corporation it does big projects.
okay,
So I can do that.
okay.
Once I get that email and I sound plausibly intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, let me know if you want me to forward you all of that kind of stuff. But sometimes too many emails come,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it just the minimalist approach to emails, otherwise eyes glaze over.
Yeah, that's, okay. So I made the right call on those.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the select board. They told us to keep going.
Can I interrupt just for a second?
Please.
The reason why it was postponed is that two of the select board had read the report or were unfamiliar with it. And did you get the feeling that they had read it? Kathy's report?
I have to assume they have.
Yeah,
They've at least skimmed it,
I have to assume they have.
okay.
They did say that they felt more confident about the mixed use options, like after reading it or having time to think about it, so maybe.
It's a lot to digest, so if they had not read it
oh, yeah.
line by line, I would not blame them.
No.
In the least.
That was the only suggestion I was gonna make was pour yourself a good pot of coffee.
Yeah,
Might take a while.
Honestly, I have not read it all, so.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, it was clear that you did and Judy did, and I was like, okay.
Right, the people who you would expect to have read it cover to cover, I am absolutely positive they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yeah,
I'm,
wonderful.
and, you know, this is a collective process. Um. So they told us to keep going with mixed use. You think they're very focused on the numbers.
Yep.
Um,
Again, both from birth to ops. It's not just ops and it's not just creation. It is both. How are we going to get the project started and done, and then will it be financially viable as an ongoing entity once the structural issues and all that are completed? Because I think the funding that we're looking at is both for how do we get the building ready?
Yeah.
And what are the operational revenue streams that we can create beyond the on-demand customer? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, except that. The proviso is that the first number is really big, the 4.3 million, that's gonna be. Getting that all done with grants. Is gonna be a heavy lift.
It's gonna be a very heavy lift. And again, well, I would say if you had CP.
yeah,
CPA
I
money
would,
to that.
Yeah.
I would add CPA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
to that.
part of it, I mean,
Fine.
that's always a part of it.
But
That and
that's
the-
hundreds of thousands. not
The only ones that really make sense in all of those, where there is absolutely Judy can. Sweet talk her way into the CPA, a lot of the CPA money, I think at least the 375 or something like that, that is in the assumptions, but, and the historic preservation tax credits. I think are very real, and that's $1 million, I think, close to it.
The preservation money is.
Yeah, it's close to $1 million, so if you, let's just say that you could somehow get your hand on $500,000, that's still only $500,000, $1.5 million out, that is for sure. It's not even for sure, but it's very close to being for sure, then there's still 3 million to get your hands on.
Did that 4+ million really, I thought that was both build up and ops ongoing.
I don't think so. I think the only difference is, it gets to be a very big number with the community kitchen, because that's sort of like ops there, but that's not a restoration money, that's.
Right, but using the Cleveland Kitchen as an example. You could spread that cost out over 20 to 30, probably 20 years. And the revenue stream would be included in any leasing and rental contracts from users. I don't think that those costs are definitively quote unquote construction costs. They're,
Are you talking equipment?
I'm talking about
Yeah.
ovens and things
It's
like.
$350,000, I think is what she was saying, the estimate for, getting the basic.
Right, and you can just treat that as a capital expense and leave it into whatever you charge different users. And that's appropriate, because that's wear and tear.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So are you saying, but it's still an upfront cost?
It is an upfront cost that you would more than likely go to a bank and get a term loan.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm having a conversation a week from Monday about state monies. And I'm not gonna I don't wanna go beyond that, but it's going to be a very concrete conversation about potential resources.
Okay.
I'm sorry, about potential paths. Be it a line item, be it economic development bill. And the point I made to the select board yesterday, and what I'm hearing from people I know, is that the marriage of ag and economic development is really important. Ag alone, no offense, who cares? Economic development alone, we're in an agricultural community. The marriage
Okay,
is gonna be important.
Well, if I could make, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think if you throw in historic preservation, that what fundamentally what we're trying to do is to keep this incredibly valuable resource still standing at the corner of.
Crispin Lane and Chestnut
Yeah,
Lane.
Chestnut Plain and. I mean. One of the great accomplishments of what we're doing is keeping that building standing. Community loves that building. I got the feeling the community loves that building.
I would caution you on that.
Okay.
There's a component of the community that loves that building. There is not a small number of people who think it should be torn down.
I know.
And for better or worse, it is not insignificant. And that's why tax dollars for this purpose, for this project,
Well, you know what, though? That's a pot of money in and of itself. What is the cost of tearing it down?
depending upon what is, there's no asbestos in the buildings.
I don't remember much.
I don't.
If any,
think so.
I'm not enough that it needs to all be surrounded or something, there may be a little
Yeah.
bit. But
100,000?
I bet it's much
I think
more.
at the,
Oh, really?
at the end of the report. Kathy talked about the demolition option, and I think that she actually made an estimate on it. I'm not sure.
I think we did on committee once. But my point is, what it costs X. But that X, we're spending no matter what, so that comes right off the total.
Right, well, and whatever you put there, even if it's playground,
Yeah,
playground's $100,000. And with safety and it just, I don't get why it's $100,000, but it is. If you wanted to
Right.
do a good one, if you wanted to do a rinky-dink thing.
Right, but so the people who, I believe, I think you're 100% right that there is a faction in town that says we should just tear it down. But I also believe that that faction is not thinking about the fact that that will cost X anyway. So we might as well spend that X on use. So,
well, you also end up with a vacant parcel right in the middle of the town center that's.
right, which means more cost if you do anything with
Yeah.
it. So there's some, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
45, $4.5 million, but $1 million of that is probably gonna happen with any outcome.
And I agree with you, I'm just cautioning you that let's not. And I think we're smart politically to understand their perspectives. And to address them and to be rational about. Why do they think this and justifying, okay, and legitimizing, yeah, I get it. And that's why we need to keep everybody informed about what we're doing, which is the reason we went to the select board kind of. Is so no one thinks there are any secrets.
Right. Okay. So is there more, I have a question about. Two questions. One, you've got a meeting about state funding with a contact. And you're using it to talk about this stuff to,
Exclusively, well, we'll talk about other things too, I'm sure.
yeah, okay.
And that's on Monday, the 20, whatever.
Great, thank you. Did the select board say anything along in the direction of how they might help us?
It wasn't requested either, so.
Okay. At some point, we need to.
Yeah.
Ask for something, so that's maybe another conversation for us to have at some point is. What do we need from them? What will help us? We don't necessarily know yet.
They did say that, while they encourage us to do an exhaustive search on grant funding, they need sufficiently time to approve all grant requests.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it requires a match.
I think it was anything. I think it was,
think it
and
was
they use
everything
match as an
too.
example. But if it's gonna impact the town in any way,
Right,
I just think it's smart to,
they might have.
I don't get it.
alternative Uses
I'm
for
kind of
that.
with you, but
No,
Well, the only reason I said that is because I've applied for grants with others. And because they didn't require a match, I didn't have to go to the select board for approval to apply.
okay.
That's the only reason I say that.
Yeah. They use that as a prime example,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I got the same sense that Jonathan did. I thought that's what they said in the first meeting we were at. So that might be something for you to feel out with Peter to be clear on.
Well, it probably also has to do with the fact that it is a town-owned building, like.
Yeah.
You know, like they want some say in what happens, and, you know,
Of course,
if we apply for a $5 million grant to build Disney Western Mass, they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh,
Okay.
is that what?
Okay. Okay, anything else about last night's meeting? Good. Going back to the municipal use committee, so yes, Judy had written an email about that coordination, the interface between that committee, and also about
the easement.
thank you, that's the word I want, easement for the center school, for the milk bottle. And Pete wrote back and said what you heard, the municipal building and the municipal committee and our committee are two separate entities with two different intentions. Municipal building is focused on town buildings that will be utilized as town public facilities. Now, I'm not sure why that doesn't cover the center school, but he goes on to say, since the repurposing of the center school would not be for any town use, but instead be rented out in some fashion, you won't have to engage with the NBC. But I guess we're just wanna keep it on Garrett's radar that until anything happens. Will he inspect it every once in a while or have somebody from the committee do that or something? And then basically Judy had asked about. Does there need to be an easement for the milk bottle? And he said basically. We don't think so because the town still owns the building. You just need to make it clear in any leases. For people to use it.
The example that I used, that if there was childcare functionality, then, you know, the milk bottle doesn't become the cow tipping.
Yeah.
Say that again, yeah, the thing you climb on,
Yeah, the thing you climb on, the thing you push over, the thing, you know, whatever, yeah. Right, but I
a
did
bunch
say,
of
you know,
little types to push that guy over.
it may be, you know, and I said this last night. If, let's say we found it feasible to turn the center school into a commuting hub for coffee, drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
The milk bottle might be what you wanna serve the coffee out of.
sweet,
So, but there would be covenants around that and there,
Right.
you know, that type of thing.
right. Yeah, I definitely. I still think that the. Public service of. Coffee I don't drink coffee, but that some element of a coffee house on that property would benefit us.
I would add the. It sounds so bad when I say this, I get it. I would add the other side of the day kind of. Liquids as well.
You mean alcohol?
Yeah, oh yeah. As people come home,
That's a whole nother.
that's a whole nother
aspect.
kettle of fish, I get it, but
Yeah.
if you wanna maximize use,
Interesting,
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm not saying to throw fraternity parties.
no, I get what you're saying, well. Can you still do takeout? Cocktails?
I personally wouldn't do that. I don't get why convenience stores have single beer cans on ice at the checkout. I don't get it at all, so I would. But to sit and have a drink at the end of the day, or to have, you know, a business meeting. Or even the people who are using the facility as the kitchen people or the shared office space. You know, and I'm not saying we do this, but there are a lot of shared office spaces that have a keg of beer on tap. For the end of the day, for,
Yeah, okay,
now they're the more. Flexible employers, but. I just don't think we should close any doors.
yeah, great. Okay. One the other new thing. For the agenda is. This, I got an email from Paul, Joyce. Next scoop deadline is March 4th. Do we want to put anything in the scoop?
What would we put in?
I don't know.
Check out the feasibility study, check out the,
If we're gonna ask people to read something, I would have them read the 2-page. Executive summary. That
Which is not
Judy-
2 pages,
Judy wrote, right?
yeah,
how many pages is it? I forget.
7.
Oh,
Cause remember, we talked about, this is not a short document, it's like, it's pretty short, maybe it's 4 pages. Pretty short compared to the 72
Right.
pages.
it may be worthwhile just having a
Blurb.
short blurb, very short blurb saying, hey, with a URL link.
Right,
Oh, that's a
But-
good idea, yeah,
but they're already linked to the committee. That's what my wife was saying. I didn't look at it myself. She said you can see that there are links to the various studies.
oh, yes, but we're talking about the scoop, like. the
Oh,
new-
okay, but this, no, but I mean, if in the scoop, you just said you could go to the website of the committee and it has the links to any of these studies.
I honestly would do it direct, cause it's friction, it's the more jumps that somebody has to
Sure.
take. It reduces the number of people who are taking that jump.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
And but maybe we could do different versions for like the printed version, cause you can't put a URL. Well, you can,
But you can, it's just not.
right? you
Yeah,
can.
right.
Yeah,
Right, so have it both, but one has an hyperlink and.
Yep.
Or they all have hyperlink, but on paper you.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And again, I admit, I'm not a scoop reader,
Mm.
so I don't know how many people read it.
I think they do. I'm that, that's,
It's just not me, but
yeah, well, I think it goes back to your point of. No secrets.
right,
Um. Should. We say something like. We're at a more exciting stage now where we're getting to actually. Look at plans and look for partners to help with various ideas. Anybody wanna join
we
in?
said, that's what we said before the select board, that we're looking for nonprofit partners.
We did say that. I guess what I'm gearing for is, do we wanna look for more members of the committee, especially with Paula and. I wish I could remember her name. Haslett, what's the last name?
so right now we have 7 members on the committee. We should probably have somebody, I would say maybe add somebody from the municipal building committee.
Okay,
I just,
well, I kind of wondered, so what, I wish I could remember what the other committee was. Cause one was housing
Yeah,
and I don't remember what the other one was.
what about the ag thing?
Yeah.
If that's the line we're pushing. I mean, I think we should have been talking to them already, if we're, what the, approach that we're agreed upon.
as an element of ag, how, what the degree is, who knows, but.
Okay, well, I think the answer you guys are saying is we don't need the scoop to solicit members, but let's look at specific town committees and try and target that way additional membership.
Can the electronic version of the scoop have links to fields?
I'm sure, cause it, like, when we posted as a PDF on the town website.
But it can, you know, enter your idea here in this field box, enter your, you know,
No.
it cannot do that.
I can find out for sure, but, or we could link it to a form. That you could do that.
You listed a data field form on the back end, I mean. Yeah.
But what would we be asking them for?
Ideas, comments, support.
Didn't we just do that? So, I mean,
Yeah, but I think if we continuously, as we, I don't know, and again, it's just my opinion, and I have far too many of them. If you continue to make it known that you are welcome to ideas.
Yeah.
I'm playing defense.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, I could hear. My ear to the ground of this town primarily through the historical society. I go to all the meetings there, and that's where I heard that there is a little small faction of the historical society that wants to tear the building down. Why are you in the historical society? That's what your opinion is, but anyway, that they're, close to the point of making that. They were saying, why did we do another survey, you know, then.
Yeah, the people that are really
We just do that now.
Yeah, but that's time warp in terms of what people's memory is, because the first survey
Yeah.
was before COVID.
Yeah, no, I
That's-
know,
that's
I'm
what-
just saying that's what
No, I heard the same thing you did, you know, didn't we just do this? And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, a while ago, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so what, the last, we had an update in December. Said the feasibility study is wrapping up thanks to the 118 survey respondents. Immediate fixes from the building have been done. You know, thanks for paying for that and tightening up the information about the structural engineering, traffic passing by. The final report will conclude information on demand for the multiple uses identified and estimates for the cost per square foot for these options. This will be invaluable information for further decision making. So saying yes, now the feasibility study is out, here it is, you can look at it. So we didn't actually say there that we're looking for partners.
Well, that would be the news, I would think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that we're actively seeking out partners.
And maybe instead of like a form, we could also just, like, you could put my email in it and say, if you have any thoughts or ideas, like, feel free to
Yeah.
email community. email.
I'm just thinking if you wanted to memorialize it in a database, that's why I was saying
Yeah.
that, but, right.
I'm very organized, I can.
No, that's all right,
Sure.
people don't know that, so they,
Yeah.
let me see the data,
Yeah,
you know? That's fine, you know, ask for partners. If you think your organization, or if you know of an organization that might,
Yeah.
enjoy operating in some fashion out of this building in the future within these confines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
parameters.
yeah. Build the guardrails.
Okay. I will do a first draft, send it to everybody.
That'd be great.
Drafts are intended to be revised.
Yeah,
People have done a great job with that. Let's just keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that's not a violation of open meeting laws to share notes on drafts, is it?
Probably is, but I'm not an open meeting law fan, so.
I think you can share materials, but
Yeah.
any type of discussion,
Why don't comments go to,
Okay,
not even you,
okay,
and then you can disseminate.
another draft. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll do the first draft and then you'll do the second.
okay,
And
perfect.
then comments to Caroline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll discuss it at our,
Yeah, and
so I'll distribute it, and then at our next meeting, we can deliberate.
No, we'll probably not, because the next meeting will probably be after March 4th.
Oh, okay.
So it will be, here's a second draft.
Our next meeting will be the 26th,
of what month?
February. If it's 2 weeks from today.
We've been doing monthly, not two
Oh,
weeks, not
okay.
bi-monthly.
I'm out of town the first week in March.
You know, I am too.
Let's jump the next meetings.
So maybe we could meet before or after, just that week, the problem for me.
Well, but if today is the
Today's the 12th.
12th, make it the second week in March.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't even do the 26th. So we're gonna figure
Yeah.
this out by email.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so if we're all sending comments to Caroline, we don't need to date and time our drafts.
I don't think so.
Like if it-
What you mean?
Well, if we were, if people were building off of things. I did this on February 17th at 4:55 PM. Then the person knows, okay, this was the sequential order and they were looking at what revision edits as opposed to not what they hadn't seen yet, but I'm kind of, no.
Sorry, I didn't even try and keep listening, apologies. I just went back to looking at March 12th, which I can meet at 11. But not,
that's a Thursday. Well,
it's a Thursday.
Let's see.
there's nothing magical about 10:30, we just got started that way.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm fine at 12.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Whatever works best for Jenny and Caroline.
And
Is this your day to be in the office though? It is.
Thursdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, we're the ones here. 11 or 12 or in between, anybody got a preference?
Go 11 o'clock,
11 will be fine.
Yep.
11 to 12.
Um. Okay. Now so we're this nonprofit partners. We're gonna ask in the scoop for ideas. Do we wanna reach out to the ag committee, who else? Should we be reaching out to who might have leads?
This is, I mean, somewhat related to my meeting with FERCog last week.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
did
yeah, go back.
suggest
Thank you.
releasing an RFI a request for information, with sort of what you were talking about, like what would be ideal in the scoop is to give very specific parameters, like we're looking for developers, partners, operators for a building, or either building or operating a co-working space, daycare, or commercial kitchen, but giving like very clear guidelines. And then releasing that to the public, and then I feel,
Great idea.
I think that's something that we're, just from the conversations, I think that's something that
Well,
we're.
it's an excellent advice. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, because I think it will also give us good information of like, okay, we got 5 potential partners for a commercial kitchen, but only 1 for a daycare. Like, so maybe the daycare option isn't as feasible because there's less partners that are interested, like, it'll give us that type.
Daycare or support.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I'm with on that support.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that. So that's the term they're using, a request for
An
information.
RFI, yeah,
It's non-binding.
yep,
It's just,
exactly.
yeah. Not a request for, not a request
Correct.
for information. about
Correct.
Interest, expression of interest or
And
something like that.
Who does that go to?
We would submit it to the general public similarly to an RFP, so I can post it in mass planners, FERCog can also distribute it. We could, I mean, we don't have time to do it for the scoop, but something similar to the scoop, we could put it in a recorder. Just a request for information, similar to whatever.
I would add answer.
Oh, certainly, certainly. And FERCog
Well,
did offer to help us write it.
I hadn't really thought of this. This is an excellent first step. That's what we're, this meeting is first steps, and that's something,
Right.
an absolutely essential first step. I don't even think we need to work out to write it. We can have ChatGPT write it for us. Have who write it? ChatGPT. And it's done.
Do you know how to turn off the AI thing at the top of every email now?
Yes, I get that.
Yeah, do you know how to turn it off?
Oh, I don't, well, cause somehow Grammarly got into my, and I use AI a lot for my business, so, but. Somehow Grammarly got into my thing and I can't turn it off, and it's just driving me crazy. And I tried to to delete it from the whole thing, and he said, no, it's live right now. I was like, well, where?
Yeah.
And I'm sad, it's a connection somehow,
Yeah.
yeah, somehow, but. Yeah, I mean, it can do it so comprehensively in like 10 seconds. Fine. If the FERCog wants to feel,
Well, they just offer.
yeah,
Yeah,
In terms of like distribution.
and well, we definitely want their help with
Oh, yeah.
distribution.
and we can share with them what we create, make it edited.
Yeah,
certainly. Yes, I like it, yeah. I think if nothing else happens in this meeting, that the commitment to do that is, yeah, a good concrete step. Not really concrete, it's a good beginning, yeah, and it's good.
Alright, okay,
But we're kind of spinning our wheels because we don't really know who to get a hold of, you know, it's like. I still like the idea of somebody. Like our chair or somebody meeting with the, or maybe Rich, because he seems to be particularly interested in the, ag angle to meet with the members of the ag committee, because it's a separate town committee that is dedicated to the idea of making ag more viable. And that's what we're trying to say. That's what we told the select board. I guarantee it.
Right, so. Here's it's down the road, but here's the trap I don't wanna fall into, which is. What the Franklin County Kitchen told us was that when they discussed with farmers the possibility of having a kitchen. People were very enthusiastic about it, but then they didn't actually show up to use it,
Then they wouldn't actually what?
use it.
Oh,
They
wouldn't
didn't follow through with whatever initial,
And there was marketing involved and prodding.
that I don't know, that would take more discussion with them.
That sort of lends to the question I have, and this would require a conversation with the select board in the next meeting. I sort of wonder if we should do an application to create our own nonprofit now.
and then the nonprofit is the one responsible for herding the cats of the other partners. Or they are ready at. Again, because I am always dubious that the marketing is done and, you know, people go by, if you build it, they will come, and that's not the case. We need to make sure that there's an entity beyond this committee that's gonna drive things. And I think having that entity that will help drive things and be the partner to the nonprofit partners long-term will perhaps make the nonprofit partners more interested in collaboration rather than non-collaborative with a volunteer committee from a 1,500 person town.
So, but which comes, so do we need a new nonprofit or is there an existing nonprofit?
What existing nonprofit is there?
I don't know, that's part of what I think we're trying to
Oh,
explore.
yeah, you mean just some random nonprofit that
Already
exists?
exists.
It would have to be a nonprofit that existed at least tangentially under the umbrella of what we're kind of trying to do. And I think that it should be a nonprofit that it has the best interests of the town of Whately in mind.
Well, I wouldn't, necessarily limit it to that. What if it's Franklin County or Pioneer Valley Growers
Yeah.
Association?
What about-
or-
But they're a partner, they're not gonna be responsible for the overall management of the entity. They're a great partner. For the kitchen part, but if, let's say, for example, we have childcare,
Yeah,
they don't know the first thing about childcare.
I agree, but we don't know yet if we're gonna have childcare. So to me, it feels premature to put together a nonprofit, partly because I know, partly, I guess, quite frankly, because I feel like, well, then you lose me, because I don't know anything about that.
Oh, no, the nonprofit would be a skeleton, it would just exist so that we could, because they take a little while to be approved and all that kind of stuff. That's my only thought. It would be a shell nonprofit until the town decided to kickstart.
You know what?
Well, we could skip it.
Can you, based on your knowledge already, can you write up what are the steps of doing that? So that so the rest of us who don't have that kind of information can have a better way to think about how that dovetails with the things we are also trying to do in terms of timing.
Sure.
That would be helpful.
I mean, it would be a paid, it's not
Yeah.
expensive, there are 2 tiers of nonprofits.
Full chart.
Depending upon revenue thresholds and anticipated whatever. One costs about $450 to apply for, another costs about $800 to apply for. The smaller dollar number, is much quicker turnaround than the larger dollar number. That's fine, I can write it up, but that's good for us.
It's also possible that we would get some information that would be helpful through the RFI. That there may be some existing
That's what I
nonprofits out
want to
there.
do too, and I think that should be part of
Yeah.
the RFI request. So I'm going back to the notes Carolyn sent us.
How's the background now? Yes, you're.
Okay, good. I've got it in front of me here.
These were just my notes from my meeting with Bertlog. They had suggested like sort of these 2 paths, like one being like an RFI where we're gathering ideas for partnerships. Their other suggestion was to like pick one and like go for it all the way and potentially do like also I did have a phone call with Kathy about
Yeah.
And she did recommend having some type of pre-development study if we are going to pick one option, where there's very detailed plans developed. Like she had said, like, you know, she did a very detailed job, but it wasn't detailed enough to like give to a developer and say, here you go. So, and they did talk about, One Stop for Growth is a grant that we could apply for to do a pre-development study. The expression of interest period is open now, and proposals are due, I believe, June 1st.
And it's probably relatively non-competitive.
We currently have one Whately for our comprehensive plan, and so. I think it's a competitive grant,
It is.
but they do want to give the money, and in theory, a pre-development study would
Where
not.
does the money come from?
I can't, it might be the Office of Economic Development,
State.
state money, it's not federal. We did talk a little bit about EDA, so it's our declaration that doesn't qualify for EDA disaster funds, but we could apply for federal EDA money for the project. They had just explained that it is very competitive and it is very difficult to get those funds. Basically, we would have to develop an application with FERCog, who would then connect us with Deb Bevan, who's our regional correspondent. And she would have to select our project out of all of the ones in the Northeast, from Maine to Pennsylvania, basically, and then battle it out with the other regional coordinators to see what happens. And so it didn't seem super feasible when there are state funds available. And so that's one part. So we could, there's sort of like these two paths that we could take. We could do, you know, do the RFI, see what partnerships are available, if it is feasible to do which model. Then do a pre-development study, or skip the RFI, choose we really want this option, and we'll do the pre-development study.
I like the former,
Yeah, I do too.
Which is the former.
do the RFI,
Yeah.
less conformed.
See what do we hear from. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be groups we've never heard of since.
Yes, I can reach to it.
No, it's all right, all that concern.
What did you call that grant though for?
The One Stop for Growth is what it's called. And Whately currently has a One Stop for Growth grant that we're writing the comprehensive plan with.
One stop.
So Whately has had a successful application in the past, which
Does
makes
it
me,
makes us more or less likely?
I think it makes us more likely, especially because it's a very different project.
So is there any reason not to be doing both a one-stop for growth application and a request for information?
Yes, I think the request for information will give us an idea of what partners we can have, and therefore which design will actually have partnerships. So I wouldn't want to do the thing of like, we pick a timeshare kitchen, we spend all this time and effort doing the pre-development study, and then we release the RFP and there are no partners, there are no developers. Personally, I would rather know that there's interested parties before committing.
So the RFI.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you for gathering that information, and
Caroline, can you resend that, please, because I don't seem to see.
I've got it right here in my computer, I'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, it's
Second.
very possible that it found my delete.
I was actually gonna attach it to the minutes here,
Okay.
Okay, great.
so. Okay. So can you work with FERCog to draft an RFI? And then get feedback on it?
Mhm.
And we did talk about specifically asking for ideas of nonprofits as well as ideas.
Yeah, I had sort of said like developers, operators, and partners.
Yep.
Those are sort of the three buckets I was
Right, good.
thinking of.
Okay. Um. All right, anything else from your meeting that we,
I think the other thing, and maybe this was a couple of meetings ago, but we were having lots of conversations about, what does it take to keep up a commercial kitchen? What are the regulations, like inspections, what's that like? And so I did get into contact with the Franklin County like health inspection group. And Brian, I believe, is the key health agent. And he offered to come to a meeting and answer any questions that we might have about, upkeep, what's required for a commercial kitchen, how often are inspections needing to be done, things of that nature. If that's not something we want to do as a whole committee, I don't mind meeting with them individually and bringing back notes, but I feel like it's easier when you can have your questions answered readily.
More information, the better, and I don't wanna just rely on the department.
Certainly.
I'm just thinking, maybe let's get some interested partners and then set up a meeting,
Okay.
That's fine.
or,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, cause if we get no interested partners, then the meeting is kind of moot.
Okay, I'll let Brian know.
so, yeah,
But having
it's an awesome
warm it up
offer,
in the bullpen.
and
Yeah.
Okay. You've got notes about ideas for co-working space partners as well, and daycare partners as well.
I think after we develop the RFI, we could potentially just send this directly to partners that we already think of that could be helpful.
Yeah.
So we could already take that extra step, as well as releasing it to the general public. So that might also be helpful, like for your meeting on Monday, it's like, do you have any suggestions? We're gonna release an
Right.
RFI soon.
Yeah, okay.
So. Jenny, you met with the Economic Development Corporation, Franklin County. Do you see them as a feasible partner?
Maybe if we fill the niche of the precursor step to
Yeah.
what they do, I think then they might be a partner.
At least for the kitchen.
Yeah, for the kitchen part. Otherwise, I think they would like to give us advice and help and feedback, which is still of value, but not necessarily be a long-term partner. I could be wrong.
Well,
But
the RFI might help us answer that.
yeah,
They would certainly be directly sent the RFI.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they're the only entity that immediately comes to my mind, but.
yeah, and I mean, the list that's in your notes here, Carolyn, it doesn't include them, and it also doesn't include the Williamsburg co-working space that closed down.
I did reach out to them.
You did? Okay, good.
Yes, well, and just to preface, like, these were just the ones that FERCog had mentioned, like, not a
Right.
generative list of everything. So I did reach out to Williamsburg, I haven't heard any, I reached out to their town administrator, and it just so happens that the job posting is also on their website. So I'm gonna make sure that they're,
Maybe
But-
nobody answering, right?
yeah, so, but maybe FERCog will know, well, and also. FERCog had assisted Irving in doing a very similar project of renovating an old municipal building into a mixed use space that I believe included co-working. And so I think that they they were pretty integral to that
Great.
process, and so I think that they have a pretty good grasp of like,
How long ago was that?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if there's a track record of success or failure in Irving.
Well, so the person I was talking to used to work in Irving and now works at FERCog. And so that was
She
how
knew
she,
about it from that.
yes, exactly,
Okay,
cause she did it, and now she works at
Right,
FERCog.
okay.
well, is this a regular meeting that you went to that you'll be at the next one?
This was just one I set up with them,
Okay.
I'm in contact with FERCog pretty constantly with everything.
Okay,
The town pays to have them provide technical support, so we might as well.
Who's the FERC, who's Wayland's rep to the FERC conferences?
Pete and me, I'm the alternate.
Oh, it's not Lynn anymore, okay.
No,
okay, yeah, I mean, I think just keep contact with them is
Yeah.
great, cause. And I felt the same way about going to the kitchen we went to. The person we spent time with is the one who manages the administration part of the kitchen. And, she threw out a few ideas then. And I could see, the wheels were clearly turning and that she would have more ideas going forward. And I'm guessing the same is true with the FERCog folks. That, we're now sort of starting to generate a buzz about, hey, who do you know?
Yeah.
That we should reach out to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so is there anything grant wise that we need to do right now?
I don't think so.
Okay. And we answered the questions about the EFD grant, why we're not eligible for that. All right,
Are we done?
we're done. Anything else we should be talking about?
No, I think it's been a good meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, I had,
March 12th,
I like
March 12th.
11
productive
a.m.
meetings.